Bushwhacks were some of the worst days I've ever had in the mountains, or life, really.
Whereas Panther Mountain is totally opposite. It's a mountain on top of a crater.
I think the weather challenges on this incident were particularly difficult.
It was really the development of New York State. Catskills were responsible.
Now you're listening to Inside the Line, the Catskill Mountains Podcast.
Okay, I want to crack my beer, talk about the hike, move on to El Purdy, okay?
Okay, so you cracking it right now? Am I gonna do it? Then you're gonna do it?
No, first thing is if you want people to hear the beer, you need to go to audio settings and...
That's too much.
Is it? Well, I'm just going to crack. I'm cracking. You ready? 3. Well, I don't have the thing here.
Yeah, right. Now you get all this background noise and everything, and ting, ting, ting.
I just might as well give it up.
Or just do it right in front.
This isn't a twist off, though. Oh.
I opened mine.
Yeah, because you're impatient, right? You got to have yours. Okay, so I'm going with plan 2. Was double loaded today. So, ready? Is everybody listening? Turn down all other noises.
Nice. That was good. All right. So how you doing tonight, Tad?
Good. And I'm proud that you said that was good, because now I know on a podcast I can crack a beer and it sounds good. Yeah, I think that's like an essential skill.
Yeah. So let's chat about some stuff. So winter is here, which is good. It's been sticking around, which is good. You know, the past I would say 5 years, we have had times that it doesn't feel like winter. Like we'll get a snowstorm, it'll melt 3 days later. Get a snowstorm, melt 3 days later. Now it's kind of getting a little bit of snow. And it's staying cold, so the snow's sticking a little bit. So, I mean, do you feel that way?
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. And we haven't had one of those epic thaw, rain, refreeze episodes. So we're not seeing a lot of ice on the trail. When we do get snow, it's snow on snow. So it's been relatively good in terms of winters. And I feel good for the ski area operators, because all that snow that they blew in the end of November, beginning of December, hasn't melted because of rainfall. So,
yeah, we all know that these previous times of the past couple of years, these ski areas have suffered out here in the East Coast. And, we've basically seen some funny stuff with like memes and videos and stuff of people skiing on the East Coast, and it's just a sheet of ice. And this year is a different year. A lot of people are having good videos of skiing out east and nice fluffy powder. Ski Plattekill has great skiing videos and stuff, and great promotion and stuff like that of their snow. And it's been a great year. And I'm very happy with what we've had compared to the past 5 years of winter.
Yeah,
so.
It's not one of these marginal winters, although the forecast is for a little warm front passing through this weekend, but it's going to dip back down again overnight.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what our trail conditions are this weekend. I know our hike this past weekend, we could have had some interesting situations if we had a lot of ice.
We did. And we still had some interesting situations.
Yeah, but it wasn't dealing with the ice.
Yeah, and this morning, we're talking Tuesday, so this is January 28th. I had when a major snow squall that went through probably dumped over 2 inches of snow in a matter of 45 minutes. It was blank whiteout like situations, and it was crazy. But I don't know where that went. I think it dissipated as it went towards the Catskills, but it was crazy significant here. And then the rest of the day, beautiful sunny. All the roads are dry by 12 p.m. It was crazy. So, I mean, who knows? We might get this stuff keep going. It's very good to see. I love seeing winter happening. I love seeing the freeze keep happening because I want all those freaking ticks to die.
They're dead already. They're gone for a long time.
We don't know that, man. We don't know that, man. It takes a lot of freezing to get those things dead. And we want those out of there. So
yeah, I forget what the atmospheric condition is, but they've been gone for a while. I see that Bel Air is reporting no fresh snow in the last 24 hours.
Wow. Yeah, we got 2 inches here.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So it's crazy. So amazing. So that must have shifted way east and not even hit any of the Catskills.
Yeah, well, or it was just one of these little isolated snow squalls, because I see Hunters reporting no new snow. Plattekill is reporting no new snow. And Windham Mountain Club is reporting all helicopter flights are on time, but no new snow.
Amen. Amen. And I'm ready to join that club after selling my life and my rest of my family's worth money and stuff like that too. So,
well, if you have the money, you might as well spend it and enjoy it now. No point in taking it to the grave.
Exactly. So, Ted, episode 59. I know you have been co-host for around like maybe 30, 40 episodes now. Do you remember episode 59? Do you remember what that was about?
Episode 59. Wasn't that the episode that you had Rip Van Winkle on? Was it that long ago?
Close.
Yeah, I think it was Rip Van Winkle, as I remember. Somebody just woke him up.
He just woke up.
And they told him about a podcast, and you got him on the show. That was
Close.
Number 59. Nope, I'm sorry. That was 56. Tell us what 59 was.
So 59 was the Goose Rescue.
Oh, okay.
Up on West Kill with Yana and Jake.
I remember that now.
Yeah. So we're talking about that. So you've heard of Mount Shasta over in California, correct?
Most certainly.
So California's... Good.
I know all about Mount Shasta. Yeah, my daughter spent a lot of time on Mount Shasta.
I mean, that's a nice place. I got to admit, it's 5th highest peak, 14,000 feet.
Big mountain.
Yeah. Second highest in the Cascade Range. So it's a stratovolcano, part of the Ring of Fire. And recently they have found officers that were skiing and snowboarding to me, they found that a unexpected visitor was up on Mount Shasta. It was a goose. Now, Rangers Nick Myers and Al Falconer were out for a routine patrol when they stumbled upon an unprepared, struggling climber. Now, this wasn't a human. They were able to pack it up and transport it down the lower elevation for safety. It was a goose. So this is first reported goose rescue on Mount Shasta. Now wasn't a frequent flyer that they said, that only had one layer of down, and it was neither prepared for the temperature nor overnight camping. So the goose seemed to have flown most of the way. Later, walking on its web feet along where it became impossible. It got a little bit too cold. So they said it was battered. It couldn't fly, but they still had trouble catching it. So they kind of dove into it. And watching the rescue online was pretty cool, the video, because they had some snowmobiles that went up and saved it. So it remained calm, and they transported it down to the mountain via snowmobile and released it into a pond down at the base of Mount Shasta. And they checked it on Christmas Day and reported the burn to sea did just fine. So this is a while ago, but stuff was just coming out. They're unfortunately common with mountain rescues up there on Mount Shasta, but animal rescues are very less, because as far as you go Mount Shasta, the more ice it becomes, you get some glaciers and stuff like that. So there really aren't any animals existing up there except for like wolverines and bears and stuff. But goose rescues are 1 in a million. So this was a great rescue for the people out there, for the route and rescue people out there, and a good experience for them to experience one of those. Oh, I think it was a Canadian goose, probably, because those guys are stubborn and just like to attack. I'm surprised they didn't get attacked by that. So, but cool story to share about. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that the animal was probably somewhat traumatized, disorientated, confused, out of place, and welcomed a human intervention like that.
And
What I like, you had me pause when you read the part that the Rangers were out for a routine patrol at 10,000 feet in the winter. So can imagine that's your job. Okay, so we're going to head out now, doing our routine patrol, heading up Mount Shasta on the snowmobiles, going to go up to 10,000 plus feet. Yeah, just part of our typical day on the mountain. Sounds like fun.
Wouldn't that be nice to do that? And then, climb. Yeah. I mean, it's, I don't know how far the hike is, but let's travel up by snowmobile to 10,000 feet, and then we'll do the rest.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those mountains that has a variety of ways to get to the summit.
Yeah. So further examination, I have found out that geese can fly up to 29,000 feet high.
No way. I don't believe that. That's like, I'm going to fact check that, because 29,000 feet, the air is so thin that high.
Yeah. So geese can fly altitudes ranging from 2,000 to over 29,000 feet, depending on the species and conditions. Mm-hmm. Most geese fly around 23,000 feet high. Now that is, of course, probably the crazier geese, not in our area. But mountaineers are also reporting seeing them fly over summits that are over 8,000 meters tall. So I always forget the conversion of meters to miles.
Yeah.
Or feet is, I think it's like 2.8.
Yeah. But I'm checking these facts now that you just said, and it's true, man. Bar-headed geese, 23,920 feet. They're
just imagine climbing one of those mountains, and then you see some geese flying over you. You're like, you freaking idiots.
And then they take a shit on you. Right.
And then they land right next to you, like, and then they take off.
Lovely. Yeah. And then they crap on you as they fly away. That's great.
Wow.
That's
leave no trace, assholes.
Yeah. And folks, that's why I don't climb Mount Everest, because I'm not going to have no bar-headed geese taking a crap on my head.
Yeah. Helicopters can't fly up there, but bar-headed geese can. Jesus.
I'm done.
I've sent you so many stories on these people out, and I mean, you sent me some stories about these people that are frozen in time out there. It's pretty crazy to think about.
Well, statistically, climbing Mount Everest, I don't know what the number is, but it's a very high risk of death. It's not like 1 in 1,000. It's less than 1 in 1,000 die. Yeah.
I mean, and then so many people have been climbing it lately that it's gotten out of control. And just like one of these geese is going to land on these dead bodies, RIP, and then take a crap and then fly away, man. What a crazy feeling. Those Sherpas are probably like saluting them and being like, good job, buddies.
So here it is. The risk of perishing on a summit effort for Mount Everest, they say about 30,000 people try the mountain each year, and about 10 die. So that's 0.03, 3%.
10 people or 10? Yeah, 10 people,
10,
right?
10 people out of 30,000. So in Oneonta, the city population is how many?
14.
So five out of 14,000 people in your city would die in a 3 or 4 month span from engaging in the same physical activity, right? So
just imagine the rate of that increase if they did it alone and they couldn't have a Sherpa.
Yeah, well, I sent you that article about this dude that hopped on his bicycle and rode from wherever, I forget where it was, but thousands of miles to Mount Everest, and then climbed Mount Everest unsupported, no Sherpa. And then when he was done, he hopped back on his bike and rode home.
Wow.
Okay. So you talk about somebody who really earned their climb up Mount Everest, give it to that dude, because, right, he rode his bike there.
Yeah. You gotta wonder what these, after doing Everest, what would they be like hiking in the Catskills like we just did up Round Top, I gotta admit, going up Round Top from the western side, you have zero point 0.7 miles of significant elevation gains, almost over 1,000 feet. I would say very close to 1,000 feet in 0.7 miles.
Yeah.
And Tad's going to his books it's points.
But you have a lot of oxygen when you do that.
You do, right? But seriously, would they look at you like you're like some sort of other, like, oh God, this is nothing. And then you're just like, wait a minute, you had 2 people carry your shit up a mountain. So shut up.
I remember the first time I skied out in the Rockies, at like 10, 11,000 feet of altitude, and just walking from your vehicle to the lift, carrying your equipment, you got winded. No matter, you were in fantastic shape. I was a teenager in fantastic shape. I was like, wow, what's wrong with me? And then it occurred to me, oh, there's not a lot of oxygen in the air around here.
Did you acclimate though?
Oh yeah. Over a couple of days, you totally acclimate, but that's at 10 or 11,000 feet. Now you double that and you're going
true.
up
I mean, yeah.
So it's like an insane thing. I just, kudos to those people that have it in them to go out there and do it. I just can't imagine it.
Yeah. And we talk about like Shasta and stuff out here. We have, other peaks that are 14,000, they're not 24,000, they're not 29, that 8,000 meter peaks like they have out in the Himalayas. But, we do have some significant crazy peaks out here in the Americas and stuff like that you could try.
Mount Washington.
Just
take Mount Washington.
Exactly.
And it has extreme weather. It's above tree line. It's a hell of a hike to get up there. Yeah, that makes the list.
Exactly.
There's probably people that climb Mount Everest that couldn't do a climb up Mount Washington
by themselves.
Yeah, you get it on the wrong day, it's just as bad. You'll have all the oxygen in the world, but it's like minus 70.
It was recently that this Sunday, it was like minus, I think you were right, like minus 60, 70 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some pretty cold temperatures. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So we're talking about these massive peaks in North America. I can't help to mention this. I hate to be political, but this has gone a little bit crazy. So President Trump has signed an executive order to rename Denali Peak as Mount McKinley again within the month. Now, it recently was done over. So, however, the park surrounding the mountain will keep the name Denali Mountain National Park and Preserve, according to the executive order. Now, it was dubbed Mount McKinley back in 1917 in honor of President McKinley, but the name Denali, which means the tall one or the great one, dates back to immemorial times stemming from the Kuakan and Denali. Is that how you say that? At least 9 native groups have their own unique names for the mountains, which is sacred in part to the ancestral land. Now, President McKinley never visited the mountain and had no significant connection to Alaska. But under President Obama, the name McKinley was removed officially and replaced with Denali in 2015. Now, Trump's executive order called that action a affront to President McKinley's legacy. In quote, the order honors President McKinley for giving his life for our great nation and dutifully recognizes the historic legacy of protecting America's interests and generating enormous wealth for all Americans, as they state. You can improve on the Alaskans' Kukunan and Anthablaskas bestowed in North America's tallest peak, Denali, the Great One, said Senator Lisa Murkowski, which is a Republican from Alaska, said, for those years I've advocated Congress to restore a rightful name to the majestic mountain and respect to Alaska's first people who have lived on these lands for thousands of years. This is an issue that should not be relegated. So, I've really never gotten to political, but I got to admit, this is crazy. This is just a weird thing that back and forth. I know, probably 2015, it was the same thing. And I've talked about this on the show previously with stuff over in Canada that they've renamed peaks that have been weird renames in Canada. I know I've visited up in Canada. There's a place called Squaw's Tit. Long silence.
Okay.
That is basically in Native American terms, Indian's tit. So they renamed that, of course, like I got to admit, that's a little messed up. But having Denali, I got to admit, Denali's a badass name.
Yeah. They even name a vehicle after Denali.
Exactly. I don't see you're not driving a freaking McKinley around, are you?
Going down to the Ford dealership tomorrow and asking to test drive the McKinley. Yeah. Does that come with all-wheel drive or just two?
Like the front wheel drive. Got to be kidding me.
Well, we have the no-wheel drive McKinley.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a weird instance, of course, that you would just. Denali's a badass name. So
let me ask you, let's just put this all in a different perspective. What if he renamed it after some total badass woman instead of some president that people have forgotten about? What if he named it after, just pick any like famous American woman? How about Rosa Parks? Why can't they call it Mount Rosa Parks? Okay. That would be very cool. It might be cool, but it has nothing to do with her. to the folks up in Alaska. Yeah, but why pick a president? If you're going to do this, if you're going to flex your muscles, is, the 47th American president, why name it after another president? Why not pick Harriet Tubman? We could name it after Harriet Tubman. Nobody's named a mountain after her. Or again, Rosa Parks. I mean, there's plenty that you can pick. Obviously, I don't agree with what he did, but if we're going to start renaming places, why does just the president get to say what the name of the mountain's going to be forever? Like that's going to be the name of this mountain supposedly forever? Is every president going forward going to start renaming shit? Okay. The Catskills will no longer be the Catskills, Stosh. How many times have you hiked slide? Well, I hiked slide when Obama was president. And then when Smith was president, I hiked, it was known as Mount Peak then, or, what, I mean, it's nuts. Why do we even have to do this? Why can't we just keep things simple?
Yeah.
Right. Cut our taxes and let us retire younger. Why is it the older you get, the further out retirement age is? What is that? Like,
now we're going too far into this.
No, we're not. I was watching the Bills game and nobody was moving the goal line on them on Sunday. Okay. But as somebody who's 62 years old, when I was growing up, you told me it was age 62, then 65, and now 67. And then you go and changed Denali's name on me. What's going on here?
Come on. Everything's going to shit now.
Yeah. This is why I should have stayed on the trail this weekend hiking. Damn
just kept going. I agree. Then once again, Denali has to do with the mountain. They call it the tall one. It is referred to that in Native American terms. Mm-hmm. And McKinley never visited there, so at least have to do something with the mountain. Like if you want to rename it the tall one, like Mount the Tall One. Cool. That's freaking cool.
Really? You're gonna buy the bumper sticker? You're gonna buy the bumper sticker? I hiked the tall one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, why not, man? I mean, who knows?
I hiked McKinley. Yeah. That sounds hardcore.
Yeah, I guarantee anybody who is like, did you hike McKinley? No, I hiked Denali.
They're going to think you went down to the town park when you say McKinley. Isn't that
right?
Around the corner? How high? Is that like 250 feet? I think it's 256 feet.
Yeah. The convenience store is pretty cool down there.
Yeah, it's by the 7-Eleven.
Yeah. So crazy, just crazy. And, hopefully he'll stay away from the Catskills because we got a lot of Native American names over here. Shit.
Next thing you know, the Ashokan's going to be named,
the water place.
At Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. So let's get out of political shit.
Yeah.
So thank you to the monthly supporters, Chris Garbian, Jeff Jotz, Darren White. Thank you for Mikey S., John Comiskey, Summit Seekers, Desert City Radio, new supporter, by the way. Thank you very much.
What was that again? Well, I didn't see
Desert City Radio.
Huh. What? Gonna have to Google that. Desert City Radio.
Same. I got this at last second, so it was pretty cool. Betsy A, Denise W, Tom H, Vanessa, Peggy, Jim C, Michael, and Derek. Thank you guys very much for supporting the show. Really appreciate it. Also, everyone who is supporting on Anchor, get a hold of me and I'll chat about your sponsorship, because I remember them saying that they're ending their sponsorship as beginning of January. So get with me. We'll chat about it. And we'll, if you want to continue to support the show, please hook up and we'll support the show through Buy Me a Coffee. Also, sponsors of the show, guys, thank you very much. Our sponsors are fantastic, amazing. So capture your love story against breathtaking backdrops with Outdoor Chronicles photography. Molly specializes in adventure couple photography, and she'll immortalize your moments amidst stunning landscapes of the Catskills, Adirondack, and White Mountains. She'll craft timeless images that reflect unique bond in nature's grandeur. Embark on an unforgettable photographic journey with Outdoor Chronicles photography. Don't hesitate to get a hold of Molly on all platforms. Also, discover the wilderness with Trailbound Project. Our expert-led hiking and backpacking education programs offer unparalleled outdoor experiences. Whether you're a beginner or seasoned adventurer, join us to learn essential skills, explore stunning trails, and connect with nature. Start your journey today with Trailbound Project and unlock the wonders of the great outdoors. So, hard ciders and mentions. Yeah, I don't. Should we keep talking about this? Nobody's mentioned us anymore. Tom, who's? What's going on, Tom?
What's Tom? No more love. What are you doing, Tom? Tom, if you're driving up to the Catskills in your car, I want you to pull over to the side of the road, and I want you to post. You got to tag us, right? You got to get back into the habit, Tom. Otherwise, no more hiking for you. And speaking of no more hiking and how you can keep hiking and having fun, Chronogram, Reader's Choice, Best Regional Podcast. If you haven't already voted at least 10 times for us, what are you waiting for? Voting is open until February 15th. You go to the Chronogram page. It's plastered with links to the Reader's Choice nominations. Under the entertainment section, scroll down to Best Regional Podcast. You'll see us near the bottom and vote for us. You have to put your email address and name in, but I've done that, and you will not get spam. I haven't received any spam from it.
Not at all.
So go in. We appreciate it. We want to dethrone the 2-time winner, that podcast known as Cityet, which I guess deals with things you can do in the Hudson Valley when you come up for the weekend. And we think it's time that there be a new leader in town.
Yeah. And I got to admit, it's easy as heck. Like Tad and I have done both our stories and our Instagram posts of links and stuff. One time you sign up, I've never gotten spam or anything like that. And all you got to do every day is just go back to the link and nominate. And that's it. You're done.
Nominate.
And I did this years ago, I don't know if it was a year or two ago, and I kind of got off. I just stopped doing it because I knew I didn't have a chance. But it would be cool for someone to once again, like you say, Tad, dethrone Cityet podcast. I mean, our podcast is a laid back, fun podcast. We just talk about amazing stuff in the Catskills, and recently, with Buy Me a Coffee and Instagram, we've gotten some great positive feedback about how people love it. Like you asked about Desert City Radio, and they said thank you so much for the shows. I've learned so much after buying up all the Walton historical books at the Walton Big M. This was our next obvious steps. Amazing episodes on the Cannonsville Reservoir. Let's keep history alive. That's fantastic. That cool. Breaks my heart. We're kicking ass and just having fun.
Yeah. Well, I think what separates us from the other major regional podcasts is we're not in it for the money, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anything bad on their part. I mean, they use it to supplement their income, but Stosh gives back 100% of the net proceeds to the Catskill community. And, we just do it out of our love and passion for the area. And we just like that to rise to the top, just like hiking up Slide or Wittenberg, going to the summit. Let's bring the show to the summit, right? Make us number one in the Hudson Valley, inside the line. So rate the show, nominate the show,
chat about the show, share the show, whatever.
And Tom, you need to tag the show. Okay,
Yeah,
buddy?
right. On your
Because
adventures.
we know what you drive, and we don't want to go there. Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah. So awesome. Thank you, everyone. Just to let you know, also with these monthly supporters, I wanted to get a little outreach about that. Is that they support the show on a monthly basis? They donate to the show on a monthly basis. It all accumulates to a time of where we'll spend it on the Catskills. We'll send it back on the Catskills. You know, our expenses are somewhat paid for. You know, we're talking about the Zoom, the different developments that we have with the online stuff, and then the rest of the money goes back in the Catskills, and it's just a monthly thing. If you want info about it, let me know, and I can give you a link and stuff if you want to support the podcast on a monthly basis. We have 3 ranges of different supports and stuff like that, and then we also have sponsorship as well. So once again, thank you to everybody who has donated and supported the show, sponsors as well. Amazing what you're doing. Thank you. And once again, vote for us on the chronograms. Let's see if we can knock these other people off of the thing, and we can get best regional podcast, and we can have a good time. So rate the show. Also rate the show. Don't talk about the crazy intro that everybody is disappointed about. That's too hardcore metal. That is actually it's like Three Doors Down kind of stuff. It's not even, it's Nickelback stuff.
I don't know. But you know what I did after that person made that comment? I decided I'd have 3 alarms on my phone in the morning. You know, there's the wake up one, and then there's the one I set in case I miss the wake up. And then the third alarm is like the holy shit, you're sleeping too late alarm. So I set our intro song to the music that plays for that third alarm because it's just that harsh and abrupt. It works. So I'm putting it to good use.
Wow. It's not even that heavy.
I know you were like hurt with that comment, weren't you?
Like, do you think it's like Rammstein stuff where it's like skin?
No, I have no idea what that stuff is.
It's not. Yeah, you don't know. So
also is it works. It gets people's attention, and that's what we're about. We're in it for the attention.
I'll have to put more of the later parts into the intro, so you don't have to. But once again, I think it's like 21 seconds. Skip over it.
Yeah. Wait till that person hears. I'm going to come up with my intro music. Wait till they hear what I come up for myself.
I have something in the books, in the works. So my friend is helping me out. So, all right. So what are you drinking tonight, Tad?
A Lagunitas, a little stumpin' something. Guess it's a wheat IPA. Had one a few weeks ago on the show, and I pulled it out because I just got 1 or 2 left. Might as well get rid of them. I see the alcohol content is a hefty 7.5. So yeah, I'm feeling that, and I think the listeners are probably Tad's getting a little rowdy tonight. So
7 point. That's a little out of control. That's way more than what I do.
Yeah, well, you're a lightweight.
I am. I definitely am.
You drink like you hike, Stosh. Oh, I'm getting the evil eye.
Yeah, he is. Wow, that was
just making a funny joke.
Ouch.
Don't be so sensitive.
Listen, I hike my own hike.
There you go. That's it. Even if it does mean you have to turn your poles into pretzels.
That's true. Actually, I gotta post about that. That was pretty funny. That was a good time. So I'm having a 1911 Honeycrisp hard cider. The alcohol content, it's only 6.9, so it's nowhere near what Tad's doing. Jesus.
Yeah, this says don't operate heavy machinery or record yourself on a podcast. So
they're violating. Not. How do they say that? Like they're not responsible for persons.
Yeah, not responsible for self-embarrassment or humiliation.
Yeah. Previous hikes. Do you want to? We'll go back and forth on this one. Buddy?
No, you can lead it. You know, I'm working on 7.5%. So.
So I'm very grateful that Tad wanted to join me on my quest for the Winter 3500. So I have not, it sounds weird that I completed the 3500 in 2017, but I have not completed my winter. But, I've just been out and about of winter so much with other friends and myself that I've just, a lot of those times with these Winter 3500, when you want to go do some crazy stuff, like, we did Catskill High Peak and Round Top this weekend. You kind of don't want to go alone. You don't know what's going to happen and stuff. Wittenberg, Cornell, you do the 6. You don't want to go alone. I at least don't, or my anxious wife doesn't want me to go alone. So Tad was just like, hey, you're going to go out Sunday. I will occupy myself on Saturday, and then we can go out Sunday. And I was like, hell yeah, man. I would love to go out with you on hiking on Saturday or Sunday. So Tad was like, let's do Round Top and Catskill High Peak and end over at the Platte Cove parking area. So I was ecstatic for this. I was like, hell yeah. Ted wanted to get off at like 5:30 in the morning. I was like, hell no. Let's start doing this at 8:30. And Tad's just like, God damn it, this sucks. Like, I got to get out at 8:30. But, we saw Al.
Yeah, we
in
did.
the parking area, and we saw, that I got to admit, being 8:30 in the morning on a winter day that was crazy cold, that place was pretty packed.
Well, you say that, but that was at the end of the hike. I was about to say I got there maybe at 8:30, which in the summer is kind of late for that parking area because it's going to fill up fast on a weekend on a warm summer day. Not that you would find Al Purdy there, as we're going to hear later. But on this winter morning at 8:30, I was the second car in the parking lot.
Oh, wow.
And no, actually, I was the second. I was the third. There was a fellow that had pulled in. He and his buddy were going ice climbing. So, and then then another car came in just before you, but not a lot of people for early morning. And what was interesting is, although the forecast was arguably forecasting colder temperatures and windier conditions, I don't think it turned out that way. But it was still just a beautiful day to be out winter hiking. And I was, frankly, for that area, whether it be Huckleberry Point or Catskill High Peak, I was really surprised that there was, early in the day, there was such few vehicle traffic there.
And we parked one car at the Huckleberry Point area, and we parked the other at the end of Gillespie Road.
Yep.
And we saw, what did we see down at Huckleberry Point? We saw a guy dropping off his Kubota ATV. That was something different.
Yeah, well, and we learned later on in the day he drove out to one of those private houses that's out the road that goes down to the fork where you go off towards Huckleberry Road or Huckleberry Point. So I guess, on a day like today, if you don't have a hefty 4x4, the best way to get out to your cabin down there is to take one of those. So yeah,
and I didn't see his trailer parked there when we left, so he must have drove that thing up and then parked the trailer and the truck at the other place.
Yeah, or the fellow in the truck with them was going to drive the Kubota back there, and that guy left with his truck.
True,
because there was two of them. So whatever they were doing, they had a Kubota. It was looked brand spanking new. It looked like it had never seen a speck of mud before the day, and so we were kind of envying it, but
I mean,
we instead of taking it, we decided to hike.
Yeah. So we started up at Gillespie Road, total end of that. We went up there with Tad's 4-wheel drive Jeep, which we found out that the low profile all-wheel drive Tesla with snow tires handled pretty well.
Yeah, I was impressed. You got pretty good traction going out there with your. You said snow tires. Those are really snow tires you have on it?
Yeah, they're Cooper snow tires. They're cheap.
Okay, they look like all season.
Any snow tires, to me, any snow tires is better than all-wheel drive or all season, because they offer just a little bit more grip that make you, when you turn or you have that little torque with your steering wheel, it grips a little bit better than all-wheel drive or all-season tires. But having, we kind of went up there with your Jeep, and we saw that low-profile Subaru up there, and we're like, all right.
Yeah, which had like those rubber band tires on it. So there goes your whole theory of you need something with a lot of grip to get down to the end of that road. This guy had something that he was like, the night before he was out like drag racing down the Jersey Turnpike in his hopped up Subaru, and the next morning he was out hiking in the Catskills.
All right, that's embarrassing. So, Tad, do you want to take it off of here? How did we do with the hike?
I thought we did okay. We headed up Round Top. For those of you who have been up Round Top before, we just basically kind of made a beeline for the western slope of the mountain, but then kind of tracked counterclockwise towards the south, cut up towards that southwestern face that gives you an exposure of Hunter Mountain, the ski area. Had you seen that before, Stosh? That view?
I haven't seen it from Mount Top.
Yeah. What'd you think of it in comparison to other views of the ski area on Hunter Mountain?
It's a perfect profile view of. I mean, I'd have to say it's very similar to like the North Mountain and stuff like that, but a perfect profile view of all the ski centers except for the western part, the Black Diamonds and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I think it's the closest viewpoint you get of the ski area in the Catskills without actually being on the chairlift, if you will. So
they had some good snow too. It looked very good. It looked good conditions.
Yeah, well, this goes back to our conversation where we've had some natural snowfall and a lot of cold temperatures for them to really blast the snowmaking equipment, and then there's been no thaw cycle that's melted away the snow. So it's for a ski area operator, it's been a good winter for them. But so after we checked out the view of Hunter
Wait
Mountain,
a minute, we haven't even talked about our traction situation.
What, on the way up?
Yeah, so not even like a quarter of the way, we switched from bare boots to snowshoes.
That's true. We did.
Yeah, it was conditions. We could say back and forth, but I felt comfortable with snowshoes.
Yeah, well, so I think the thing with going with snowshoes was, although there was some snow depth, we can say maybe as thin as 4 inches in spot, and then maybe on average 8 plus or minus with drifting. The snow was so light that it did not pack down under your shoe, and so you were hitting rocks and whatnot. It wasn't like there was enough snow cover or base underneath the recent snowfall to get you above all of the rocks, tree branches, roots, and whatnot that are generally on the surface. So it would have been nice to have a few more inches of base under that to really flatten things out for you. So you did hear a lot of grinding of your gear on rocks as you went up, but it was useful to have them on, particularly when you're going up a slope like that. You got a lot of talus, gaps between the rocks where your foot can go through if you don't have a shoe on. So it was helpful to keep the shoes on.
Yeah. And, you had those times of where you're like second guessing yourself. And I kind of felt more comfortable, kind of like with the length of the grip that the snowshoes have. You have more, instead of, their spikes of just your foot length, you have kind of like 2 inches more with the snowshoes. And then you have the teeth at the bottom of the top that just grip solidly with the terrain. And I felt more comfortable, like when we're chatting, we're like, hey, maybe, right here, should we switch? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And we did. And I felt a little bit more comfortable switching to snowshoes.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the bad call to make. Certainly on the uphills. On the downhill, I felt it was a little bit different because there wasn't enough snow to really give you good bite going downhill. Instead, you would just hit rocks and roots and it kind of make you hang up on that stuff, as just opposed to being able to slide on one shoe and then the other going downhill.
True.
Which is fun.
Yeah. So we summited Round Top, and then we descended Round Top up to Catskill High Peak. The descent was fun. I got to admit, from Round Top was fun.
Yeah. Well, one of us did the I'm a kindergartner method and went down on their butt, and then the other did the adult method and walked down. So if you saw my story post, you saw one of us do the epic butt slide. In fact, now that I think about it, I wish Josh Allen was able to get as much yards running the ball on Sunday as you did sliding on your butt down Round Top, because that would have been a game changer for the Bills.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think they went 5 plays. At 5 plays, they called the quarterback sneak. They only got a first down on one of them.
Oh, wow.
Shame. Yeah.
Shame. Unbelievable. So yeah, I thought that was, a perfect time. You went over towards the right, kind of like the scale, the easier stuff, and I went down more of the chute, and I decided to butt slide, and it was a glissade, whatever they call it. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal, and it was fun.
You look pretty experienced butt sliding. So
definitely done it before. And, I got to admit that once again, the last time I was up on Round Top, I went from the western side. It was a little bit more of an easier hike from the ski trail going from Round Top to like when you get in a call and go up to Catskill High Peak, it's a goddamn breeze going up there.
It's
like
bad.
Nothing.
Yeah, and then we picked up somebody's tracks on the way over, and they were pretty much on the money in terms of what has become the herd or social path between the two until you almost get to the summit of Catskill High Peak, and whoever it was took an abrupt left, headed north towards the trail that comes up from the north side, which I won't say that was a bad call for the person because the tree coverage definitely thins out going that way. Otherwise, I don't know how blown out it is now if you just went straight, eastbound to the summit of Catskill High Peak. But when I last did that maybe a year and a half ago, it was still fairly tight with branches going through there.
It was a nice hike, and hope. Once again, they're just these conversations of what to do with the lesser known, the herd paths and the trails that don't have actual markings, and it's a big conversation. You gotta talk about all aspects, and this person once again did a really good, I gotta admit, really good snowshoe over to the north access part of the trail, and then went up to the canister. So maybe that's the actual herd path, and we can continue with that and keep that going. But who knows?
Yeah, it's not a bad route.
Yeah, and then we signed in to the canister, and then went down the Hurricane Ledge, where I took a couple turns and I did a little funky navigation to where you were like, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, well, that happens.
It does.
Hey, man,
does.
There's no marked trail, so any way you get there is the way you get there. Nothing wrong with that.
Yep. But we had phenomenal view.
Yeah, when we got to the summit, there was only, 2 people had signed in before us? Or we were the first ones there? I forget.
We were the first ones there, and 2 people signed the day before.
Yeah. And then when we hung out down at the ledge for a little bit, and we came up, 2 other people, what was it? Jenna and Josh, John had been there. Then we made our way down what I call Eagle Ridge. I think it's on a old forest map is Eagle Ridge, which is just the eastern ridge.
Yep, that hits the eastern viewpoint, and then you go towards the snowmobile trail. Awesome descent. Mm-hmm. You hit that. There's that one point that we hit where we hit the viewpoint, and then we had to skirt a little bit over towards the north, and then descend down that steep area where we switched from snowshoes to spikes. Yeah. I know both you and I were looking at each other, and we're like, snowshoes are not gonna be safe at this area.
Yeah, well, usually it's, going down something like that, I try to put my face to the mountain as opposed to my back to the mountain, because you get better grip and bite. But that's steep enough. We were lucky because sometimes I've been there in the winter where there's enough base depth with the snow and with the ice that all of those tree root handholds that you normally use in the other times of the year are just covered up with ice. So there's really nothing to grab onto. We were lucky that all of that stuff was exposed and we were able to use it going down. So it was pretty easy going. Well, I used it. I think you just kind of like, did like a little funky dance and made your way down.
I did. Yeah. That's what I tree to tree. I like tree hopping.
Yeah. You did like a 360 or 2 in the middle, I mean, if I had like scorecards, I think I would have rated it like maybe an 8.7, an
nice.
8.9. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. Yeah. I try to, ice hockey, you know, back and forth, spinorama, stuff like that, you know.
Yeah,
I tried it.
Wasn't bad.
And, you know, we had those conditions once you got up to the top of High Peak was awesome, low hanging trees and stuff, just full on winter conditions. And Hurricane Ledge wasn't bad at all. We had wind here and there where we had to duck in between the trees, but the viewpoints were absolutely mind blowing. And, you know, coming back down, as Tad says, is Eagle Ridge was pretty cool that we just kept the spikes on the whole time. We didn't find any tracks going from there on, and we just kept going with it. We might have been able to use snowshoes, but I mean, once again, like Tad said, when we descended and ascended Catskill High Peak, you know, there's those areas where you get grip, you don't get grip, your snowshoes are clanking, you're not clanking. It's I wouldn't say it's a cluster fuck, but you know, it is. It really is, because you know, someone might follow your tracks and be like, oh my God, what was this person doing? But you know, there's 8 inches, and then there's 4 inches, and there's 2 inches, and there's 8 inches again. It's back and forth of craziness.
Yeah, I don't know. Would have been fun to put the shoes back on, but we were making time the way we were, so we just made time. But I'd like to point out, if you ever wanted the perfect mountain to take somebody for their first Catskill mountain hike, I'd say Catskill High Peak.
What?
Yes, because
dude, that's like 7.5 miles.
No, well, you from the part, yeah, but still, I mean, it's not that hard of a hike.
It isn't.
You get a little bushwhacking. It's an easy mountain. You know, if somebody needs a rescue, it's very accessible. I mean, it's got a snowmobile loop all the way around it, but you can you get that feeling of being off trail. You go through a few different forest environments. You get the great viewpoint. You really feel like you earn it when you're up there checking it all out. And then you can get back down to the car, head into Tannersville, go to Last Chance or Mama Boy's, get a burger, you know, wine and dine your guest. I think it's the best place to take somebody out for their first Catskill mountain experience. So I'm just throwing that out there. You know, it's got it all.
That's Tad's suggestion.
Where would you rather take somebody? To Wittenberg? That's a longer hike.
You talking about Catskill Mountain Experience or Catskill 3500?
Catskill 3500.
This would be like Slide or something.
Really?
Slide.
Slide. The view is, I think, okay.
Oh, I think it's phenomenal. I'm one of those that think that Slide or Balsam.
Yeah, well, but you go to Slide. I like Slide, but you really don't have that intimate feeling in a boreal forest on the top of Slide. Okay, so
very true.
But
and
you get that at Catskill,
and right? Catskill, you get that rugged terrain.
Yeah,
to where you'll be like,
yeah, like that shoot that we did on Eagle Ridge. You know, it's hardy, man. Somebody's going to feel like, wow, you know, this is what my buddy does when they go into the Catskills. They do stuff like this. It's not like when, you know, one of the feelings that I think that folks have when I tell them I'm hiking in the Catskills is they're like envisioning me going over to Minnewaska and hiking these carriage trails that you could drive a golf cart down, right?
Or like Overlook.
Yeah. So
unfortunately,
you take somebody up Catskill High Peak. It's like,
this is a little bit rugged.
Yeah.
You know?
So Peekamoose, I was there a couple weeks ago. That's a great mountain on the one hand, but for your first Catskill hike, the lower elevation is kind of ho hum.
Yeah. It's good point. Good point. Yeah. It is a long hike. That is, you got to pack, and especially in the summer, a little bit more, like snacks and stuff to keep them entertained. I would say beers, maybe have a beer at Huckleberry Point, maybe a beer at the Peak, maybe a beer at the Hurricane Ledge.
We're now learning about the people that Stosh takes out hiking for the first time, right?
Correct. You keep them influenced with beers.
Yeah.
I mean, Hurricane Ledge is one of those views that is unforgettable, and it's expansive. So it's not like you can be like, oh, I'm looking at the Hudson Valley. You're looking at Devil's Path, and then you're looking at Hunter, and then you're looking over.
But to your point, if you really have an athletic person, you make them climb up Hurricane Ledge, right?
Correct.
You make them climb that ledge. check out that viewpoint, and then you take them down Eagle Ridge.
Yeah. And then you break your poles down Eagle Ridge. Trust.
Yeah. Well, that's if the person's a newbie to hiking. That's
Dude, so this is the reason why I buy cheap poles, is because I always, on bushwhacking, there's some reason why these poles kind of save my life when I like fall forward or like go back a little bit, that they bend and break. So I had both of my poles broke this weekend.
So we'll hear from Al Purdy later, who's a 4-time finisher of the Catskill All Trails Challenge. He likes black diamond poles. I use black diamond poles. I've never had a black diamond pole break on me. Now, I've only used their metal poles. I haven't used one of their carbon poles, but I have this year. I've been using a pair of carbon poles that I found a couple of years ago, bushwhacking out in the middle of nowhere. And my concern with carbon is when you do get them in between two rocks and you don't realize it and you keep going forward, they tend to snap, not bend. These ones I've done, gotten lodged in between two rocks many times, start to move forward. Haven't broken one of them yet. Knock on wood. I hope it doesn't happen this coming weekend. But,
well, this is probably the 13th pair that I've broken,
wow, yeah.
Whether or not just being cheap pair or black diamond pair. So
well, you got to go yourself. Go into Camp Catskill. Try to talk yourself into the friends and family discount, and see if you can get hooked up with a set of black diamond poles and see what they do for you.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. So yeah, my poles broke when we were going down Eagle Ridge. There was this one little section I think where I slipped with my spikes, and I kind of just overcorrected myself and I just bent, and one of them snapped and the other one kind of just bent. So
yeah,
I'm kind of screwed.
They were all messed up.
They were, but they've always been. My bushwhacking is not any sort of like, oh, let's take this easy route. I always take I hate to say it, the fucked up route. Like, let's go have some fun. And then when I come back down, I rely mostly on my poles to keep my balance. Like, I know that's bad. You shouldn't do that, but it's very helpful.
Yeah, well, that's part of what they're doing, is to, allow you that opportunity to correct. But you did snap off the bottom of the one.
Yeah. But the good thing was that I had so much length on the other part of it that I just extended it out, and it was basically a regular hiking pole.
That's the nice thing about breaking it at the bottom.
Yeah.
If you break it mid shaft, that's a whole other story. Then you've got two worthless pieces of trekking pole.
Yeah. And thank you for carrying that worthless piece of trekking pole. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
And I had a great time. Thank you for letting me. I only got 10 more left, Ted.
Yeah. Well, let's send me your list. And I think you have a Big Indian, Fir, Lone and Rocky. I know those 4.
Wittenberg, Cornell.
I can't believe that. We should do the Van Ben Schoten for Wittenberg, Cornell.
I know it's weird. Eagle. Oh my God, there's 3 more left. Unbelievable. Is it Peekamoose and Table? Wow. And then one more. What is the Lone? I can't remember. But yeah. So I'd like to finish them, but you know what? I'd like to just have the experience, and this is a great winter experience, so I might as well experience it while it's full on winter instead of just like maybe ice or not ice. So
you gotta be used to and good at ice hiking in the Catskills, because that's what we see a lot of most winters.
Yeah, and Jamie was on the show for Variable, and he was ice hiking. He didn't tag us.
Yeah,
he was actually in the parking lot of Huckleberry Point. He didn't tag us. What the hell?
Shame. Yeah.
God, I'm going to tag him.
We should just delete that episode.
Right. Oh, so awesome. Great time, Tad. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you got to get home to get your Bills game so they can lose. It's overpaid athletes, but yes. So Catskill news, volunteer, 3500 Club, Catskill Trail Crew, Catskill Mountains Club, Visitors Center, Jolly Rovers Trail Crew, Bradley Mountain Fire Tower, volunteer. They're always making up their summer, spring, fall excursions here now in the winter. Also, if you need stickers, let me know. We'll send them free of charge. Or go to Camp Catskill. We'll get you there. Also, registration starts on February 1st for Manitou's Revenge Ultra Marathon that goes 52 miles from one end of the Catskills to the other.
Had I known this last week, I would have started training and entered it.
I agree. Same. I would have stayed home and not even thought about this. I've heard about this crap. This is absolute insane.
Yeah.
So,
do they have like an over 60 category? Maybe I can enter the over 60 category.
I'm guaranteeing they have very many categories, so you could probably qualify for that, but you got to finish the race to actually get you have to qualify for like 3 other different races to get into this race. It's pretty crazy. It's like you have to qualify for 2 marathons and then another marathon. I understand because they don't want somebody crapping out 21 miles into it, and Well, yeah, and then you don't want to give out. There's limited, starting positions, and you don't want to give out those starting positions to people that don't have a realistic chance of finishing. It's somebody who's been out training and doing these types of events for a while and is, has a high likelihood of being competitive and being able to finish this. That's the person that you want at the starting line. They earn that, so let them have a shot at it. Yeah. So is Ed going to be doing this?
Ed, I don't know. I mean, Ed, it seems like he's been keeping a low profile. I know he does listen to the show from time to time. We can ping him. We ought to get him back on the show. We should do like a thing where we queue up the show and we just randomly try to ping people, message people to click in and just do on the spot random interviews. Right. So if we're going to do that, we should announce that next Tuesday night at 7:00, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Next Tuesday night, you 2 Rangers are going to be joining us.
Yeah.
Down in Woodstock.
So,
yeah. All right. So weather forecast. How about that? So this weekend looks pretty decent. Friday, going to get a little bit of cloudiness and light snow. Accumulation around 2 inches. Highs around 36, lows around 10 degrees at night. So that it gets a little bit colder toward the weekend. Saturday looks to be all clear Saturday. A high of 23, a low of 7 degrees with wind chill. So once again, layer up, but be prepared with your sunglasses and such with your facial stuff. Sorry about that. Sunday looks to be cloudy with mild snow. And then towards the late night of snow, we're going to have a lot of snow, up to 4 inches of snow, a high of 28, a low of 7 degrees with the wind chill. So looks like Sunday, we're going to get a little bit more of snow. Throughout the week, it's going to be chilly to moderate temperatures. So get out there, be prepared. I got to admit, people have been prepared and have been wearing snowshoes from what I've seen and spikes. Things have been great. So thank you to all who is doing their part in being a successful winter hiking area of the Catskills. So this is going pretty well.
Yeah, it's been a good winter, and from the sounds of that forecast, there's no rain forecasted. So it looks like we're going to have snow on the ground again, as opposed to it getting iced up and and turning into one of those slip slide type of hikes on the trail.
Yeah. So get out there, have some fun, tag us, have some fun, crush some peaks. What do you know?
All right.
All right. So our last set of sponsors before Al. So discover Camps Catskill in Tannersville, your ultimate hiking store. Find top quality gear, apparel, and accessories for all your outdoor adventures. Our expert staff are here to help every hiker, from beginner to seasoned pros. We also carry a variety of unique Catskill souvenirs and gifts. Visit us online at campkills.co or in the store to gear up for your next journey. Adventure starts at Camp Catskill. Discover the beauty of the Catskills, Adirondacks, and Hudson Valley with scenic route guiding. Our expert guides to ensure a safe, unforgettable hiking experience tailored to your skill level, from breathtaking vistas to hidden gems, or if you're just peak batting, to just simple day hikes. We'll lead you to the best spots and back. Book your adventure today and explore nature's wonders with scenic route guiding. Check them out on all social media platforms. Also, if you mention the podcast, you can get 10% off. Use the code Mountain Lion. And you can also embark on a transformative journey with another summit. Another summit is dedicated to serving veterans and first responders with free outdoor activities. Activities like walks in nature, paddling, hiking, and even backpacking. Join a supportive community to rejuvenate in nature's embrace. Experience camaraderie, adventure, and healing at no cost. Take your next step with another summit and ascend to new heights of resilience and joy. Apply today at anothersummit.org. Let's welcome to the guest of the night.
Let's go.
So tonight, Al Purdy is going to join us, and he's going to talk about his Catskill All Trails experience. Now, Al is a 3-time Catskill All Trails finisher. So 3 times. 4.
Wow.
Yeah,
when did that come?
November 24th.
Jesus. All right. So this podcast needs to be shut down, and Al needs to take over. Because he is just...
Al spends too much time hiking to take over the podcast.
And you said you just got out of work.
Yeah.
How the hell do you hike so much and work? Like, oh my God.
Well, I go every Sunday. My wife has to work Sunday. Yeah, so I go then.
Sunday's your day.
Indeed. Yeah. It's mine as well, Al. So
Mine's Saturday.
Okay. Wow, so Al is going to talk to us about his All Trails experience, his All Trail Challenge experience. So now, I did the math on how many miles you've hiked with that. So now I got to redo that math. I'll add another 376 to that. So, we have prior episodes about this. Episode 116, Sam Cash was All Trails Challenge finisher. And episode 137 was Sarah Bacon. She did an episode with us about the All Trails Challenge, but now we have Al here who's done it 4 times now, which is absolutely insane. We actually saw each other this Sunday, so it's great to see you again. You know how I recognized you, Al? Take a guess.
Beard, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. I'm like, oh, that's Al Purdy. And I heard you're a metalhead, correct?
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, I grew up in the 80s, so.
Excellent. We got a fellow metalhead here, so that's good. So, Al, why don't you give us a little background about yourself, and we'll take it off from there.
Well, I've always been an outdoor person, and I grew up in the Hudson Highlands. We lived right at the foot of the Wilkinson Trail. So, I started hiking then. When we were at school, we would pretty much skip out of class, go up in the mountains. Yeah, from there I went to Minnewaska, Mohonk, and probably about 15, 20 years ago, I found my way to the Catskills.
And so with all that, like as a teen, you were out exploring all the time and stuff like that, and you just 20 years ago you came to the Catskills. What did you start doing in the Catskills that got your attention?
It was weird. A friend of mine took me to Overlook Mountain. And that's the only place I hiked for like the whole season. And I seen a 3,500 checklist laying on the ground. I looked at it and I just started hitting all those spots. This is by chance.
Wow.
So what I hear is because somebody left some trail trash out there that happened to be a 3,500 checklist. That's what kicked off your Catskill hiking career. Is that true, Al?
I hiked in the Catskills probably like a year or two. I had no idea about any 3,500 club or the high peaks or anything. I just happened to stumble across it, and I just started checking it off as I went along.
That's crazy. And this was 20 years ago, so you're talking early 2000s?
Well, no, I'd say probably like 2005, 2007 range. Maybe not 20 years ago. But.
I mean, very close. So that was way before, of course, all the the herd paths and stuff like that. So this is way before all that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even have a map at first. I just kept driving down roads, seeing a trailhead and just going for it.
Wow, awesome! That's crazy. So that's fantastic. So now, when did you finish your 3,500?
I think it was 2015. Yeah,
Nice.
I was 49 years old. So yeah.
Wow, excellent. Congratulations. 2015, that's close. I was 2017. Tad, you said you were like 2018, 19?
I'm going to go with 2018.
Okay. Wow. Awesome. So that took you a while to do that, but now you're freaking doing the all trails in a matter of like 2 months. So that's insane. So now with the all trails challenge that is involved with the Catskill Mountain Club. Now, are you a member of the Catskill Mountain Club?
Oh, yes.
Can you tell us a little about the Catskill Mountain Club?
Well, basically, they just promote outdoor activities in the Catskills. They're more than just hiking. I mean, they do bicycling, boating, I think. Anything that doesn't involve a motorized vehicle. Somebody even posted a mini golf outing.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Yeah, so they do a variety. I mean, they promote the all trails, the grid, some of their own trails that they've made.
Do you? They also do like trail maintenance, and they have been building new trails, correct?
Yeah, I think they have several. I think they have 6. Yeah, a few. Yeah, the guys. Some of them are involved in the trail maintenance. I know they did some work on the Huckleberry Loop Trail a while back.
Now, with the Catskill Mountains Club, did you get into knowing about the Catskill Mountain Club before you finished the 3,500, or was that after the 3,500?
It was after a 3,500. A friend of mine was trying to talk me into doing it a while back, and I wasn't into it at first, but after a year or so, I started doing it.
You just started nailing out these trails and stuff. Who's the friend? What do you want to mention his name? What's his name?
There was a guy named Rich Williams and Chuck Stump. Richard passed away a while ago.
I know Chuck. He's on my search and rescue team.
Yeah, I hiked with him back in the day.
Oh, nice. He's a cool dude.
He's a real nice guy.
He's a real nice guy. He has no filter. That's the best part about him. He has no filter.
He's a lot of fun and very helpful to everybody around him.
Definitely. So, do you want to give a little bit of information about the All Trails Challenge? I mean, of course, we're not talking about the All Trails app that gives you false information all the time. So, we're talking about completing everything. You want to talk about that?
Well, it's 87 trails. I believe it's 347 miles. And you will have to backtrack. I mean, anybody that's doing it, I advise them to really study the map, do it with another person, seeing cars shuttle. Yeah, it'd be the best way to approach it. If you do it by yourself.
Go ahead.
Yeah, if you do it by yourself, it just takes longer.
Yeah, you got to do those miles there and back. So a 7-mile day could be turned into a 14-mile day if you do it solo.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I've done a lot of it solo, and it just takes a while.
Do you have a perspective of how many people have finished the All Trail Challenge? 4 of those have been you.
Yeah, I believe 77.
77. Wow. Compared to the 3,500 Club, which we're over in the 4,000s.
Yeah, I think the grid's about the same. I think about 70 people have finished that.
Wow. So we're talking, we have all these mountain clubs around here. The Adirondacks I'm guessing they're well over 15,000. The 48 over at New Hampshire I'm pretty sure they're in the 18,000s. And then we have Catskill 3,500, which is over 4,000. And then we have the All Trails and the grid, which is now up to 77, not even 100. Wow. I just want people to, we have all these talks about, wanting to be out in these hikes secluded and stuff like that. But, having more people check out these trails might get these people more information and more, maintenance to these trails that we could need, and they could still be just as beautiful. I mean, most of us that take these dedicated trails to do this are one of us that appreciates the outdoors, that, we want to be out there for secludedness, to be alone, to have that time of being like, wow, I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've spent like a whole season, a whole winter season hiking Western Catskills without seeing a person.
Wow. Yeah. So, and then Ted, that one question you have, how many 2 times finishers, 3 times, any 4 times finisher? That second one or that third one is kind of self-explanatory that he just did the 4. Are you the only 3rd time and 4 time finisher?
There's one lady finished 3 times. She passed away, I believe, like a year ago.
Wow. She didn't pass away doing the All Trails Challenge, did she, Al?
No.
Jesus.
She wasn't her car wasn't last seen in the Western Catskills, and she was never found.
No.
That's
Okay.
horrible.
Yeah.
I was going to say a joke, but she was on the Touch Me Not trail.
Ooh. Well,
She did not want to be.
Our censors are going to come in and take care of that. So, Al, you've done this 4 times. I know with the 3,500 and Hikers Anonymous, they have like all these combinations. They do single season, a round in a month, stuff like that. What about with the All Trails? Is there like a fastest known time for somebody to complete the All Trails? Don't roll your eyes. Let's get an answer. Fastest time. Anyone you know of?
I know one person that's done it in like a year and 4 months. That's it. I mean, there's no known, no official time.
Is that you?
Yeah.
No, I did it. Fastest I did it was like a year and 5 months. But I don't hike in the summer, so
Wow.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. What do you do in the summer?
I do mostly mountain biking up in Minnewaska State Park or Mohawk. I
Okay.
spend a lot of time up there, just as much there as I do the Catskills.
Mm-hmm. Cool. What about people try to grid the All Trails? Anybody trying to like do each trail each month or each season of the year?
Not that I know of. I mean, it's just a standard, however long it takes you. There's no winter All Trails, no grid for the All Trails. Not yet. I mean,
Yeah, not yet. Yeah,
somebody will come up with it.
Yeah, people seem to not be satisfied with just hiking the trail. They have to like make some extra special challenge out of it, maybe just to even just say that, well, I did it faster than you. But I always wonder if those fastest known time people actually are enjoying what they do.
Right. I've always thought that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to stop and smell of roses,
Right.
I'm hiking.
The touch me not flowers out there. So why is it you found the list of the 3,500 mountains, you set out to do the 3,500 mountains, and after that you started to do the All Trails? Do I have that correct?
Well, I did the winter.
Okay.
The winter 3,500. Then I went right into the All Trails.
Is there something that prompted you to do that? Was there something appealing about it, or did it just happen?
I mean, there's always, a spot that I didn't see, so I would just have to go and do that trail till I've seen them all.
Yeah. And so how long did it take you to complete that first round of the All Trails?
The first time I really couldn't say, because I mean, I did the 3,500 first. I hiked a few years before I actually started keeping track of everything. The second and third time, it took me like a year and a half. The fourth time, it took me like maybe 2 years, because I didn't really do it in an accelerated pace this time.
Mm-hmm.
I just more enjoyed it, and I was leading group hikes too, helping those people, achieve it.
So is there anything well, let me ask you first, did you ever do the grid? Did you do the 420 grid?
No. Like I said, I don't hiking in the summer really doesn't appeal to me that much. So that's one of the reasons why I don't.
And so why is it instead of doing the grid, you've been returning to the All Trails? Is there something more appealing about the trail hiking versus sticking to the mountains or vice versa?
Well, I really enjoy the high peaks, but the All Trails, it just offers more variety. I mean, you got lakes. I mean, there's, places where you're out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, total privacy. I mean, just places nobody else goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll agree with you there. I mean, I finished my grid and then I set out to do the All Trails. And hiking the Western Catskills and even some of the trails in the eastern, the more high peak area of the Catskills has a different vibe. But certainly when you go out and hike in the western areas of the Cats, you'll go, I think I did a hike one day, I hiked 14 miles. I didn't see a single soul. No, I take that back. I saw one guy who was trail running. That was it. Otherwise, 14
Okay.
miles, not a single person the entire day. And you go through such diverse forest areas on these hikes. It's really neat out there. So I'm going to ask you some personal questions, at least to me, in terms of my trying to nail down. You said there's like a lot of backtracking. How is it you keep track of the trails as you hike them? Do you mark them off on a map, on a spreadsheet, or something else? What is your tracking methodology, if you will?
It's pretty primitive. I use the checklist, and if I have to hike a trail more than once, I just go to the back of the page and rate the miles of that trail that I did that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So having done this 4 times, one of the logistical things that puzzled me, and when I started out doing this, I didn't put enough thought into this component, is there any way that you found is the best way to go to minimize the amount of backtracking that you do? Like all these little spur trails that go off to this road or that road, did you come up with any method to just minimize that extra hiking time?
Well, you just got to really study the map. If there's a way you can do a loop, do it as a loop. If you have another person doing it with you, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you got to, there's certain times a year where the hikes will, be easier.
Mm-hmm.
The Western Catskills, you got parking issues. The trails will get overgrown, so you'd have to do a lot of trail finding if you do it in the summer.
Yeah.
So I do it in the fall and winter.
So before I send it back to Stosh, I've done most of my alt trails solo, and I bring a bike, and I'll drop my Jeep off at the end of the hike, and I'll ride my bike out to where I'm starting. So that way,
I've done that.
Yeah, that way, when I do like a 14-mile leg, I'll do a 10 to 20-mile bike ride to start off that hike, and just end up at my Jeep at the end of the hike. The other thing that I started doing now that I'm almost to the end, I think I have like 30 miles left to go, and so I've got these like little isolated segments that I would have to retrace on a trail to get out to that segment and then hike it to a certain point, to finish off that. So what I've just started to do to get to those, I just bushwhack out to where I need to go. I'll ride my bike to some random spot on the side of the road, chain it up, and just head out into the woods to the trail, pick up the trail, hike it back to the Jeep. And I call it the bike whack and hike, segment. So it's working, but I still, like I said, I still got 30 miles to go. So I know Stosh, now that I'm done talking about myself, Stosh wants to ask you some questions.
I mean, you talk about going in like kind of like the winter and stuff like that. So you go in the summer. So does that mean you don't have to really deal with the finding stuff, nettles and the chest high ferns and stuff? That would bring me back to the trail. I love the chest high ferns besides the ticks, but that's what brings me back to those trails.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I mean, I find trails like that. I mean, I'd rather do them in the winter. There's no foliage, no vegetation, because some of them are hard to, find your way to keep on the trail.
Correct. Those Western ones are sometimes poorly marked as well, where you're once again like up in waist high ferns or somewhat nettles, and then the trail markers 200 yards ahead of you instead of, being like 15 yards and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a good point. So percentage wise, how much percentage wise do you think you've done in the winter? Like almost all of it of those 4 times?
Usually hiking for me, hiking season starts I'd say after Columbus Day, and Columbus Day to Easter.
Wow.
Easter, I started hiking less and doing more biking.
Wow. That is insane. So being on the All Trails Challenge and stuff like that. So what are some of the non-popular like spots of the trails in the Catskills that always brings you back that you can't like stop thinking about, that you want to go back all the time?
I like the trout ponds, mud pond area. That's just that little loop around Alder Lake I really like. It's only like a mile, but I like to just relax, hang out there. Yeah, it's just a few of the places. Big pond, little pond area. Touch Me Not Trail. There's a lot.
And that's definitely better in the winter because there's less people.
Well, there's no people out there usually, period. But
true. Well said. Yeah, out there in the summer, that place is packed full of everybody, families and stuff like that.
Well, there's a lot of campgrounds. You have the Little Pond Campground. There's primitive sites on Big Pond and Alder. And I think Mud Pond, Trout Pond, they have a lot of primitive sites too.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we have
trails.
Yeah, I've heard there. Some of them can be very secluded out in the further part, and we go through a lot of the CCC areas that have these forests that are planted, but then you have some of these areas that just are just absolutely stunning and full of kind of whatever you want for nature and such like that. And then in the summer, it's just complete bushwhacking craziness out there, especially in the Western Catskills. And talking about complete craziness, do you have the most secluded trail that you love to go to that just you'll see, that you've never really seen anybody ever?
The lower section of the Mud Pond Trail, that's really quiet. And the Mongop Harding Trail.
Wow.
I hardly ever see anybody out there.
You got to say the winter then. This is usually in the summer, you'll see lost, deserted people out there. Because they're usually like wandering off the Mud Pond, Trout Pond area. And they're like, excuse me, we stayed over here. How can we get back to there? So I understand. I definitely understand.
Yeah, they're like bushwhacks out there, even though they're marked trails in the summer. It would be totally overgrown.
True. That's the beauty of it. That's why I like it. Because people will see the nettles. And that's the one thing I actually like, is I like seeing people get into the nettles and realize like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, that's why you shouldn't wear shorts out here, buddy.
Yeah, that'd definitely be the trail for you if you're into that.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I notice in the Western Cats is you actually have like a sod trail or something covered with vegetation, unlike the high mountain areas where the trail has just been worn down through foot traffic and water erosion down to rock and boulders. Would you agree with that, Al?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, if you fall, it's a little more forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see much traffic either, so there's no trail erosion really.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
Yeah. And I also know that Matt Smith and his trail crew is really been devoting a lot of attention over the past year to the Western Catskills. So would you say that the trail maintenance out there has gotten better in the last year or so?
Yeah, no doubt. Even better marked.
Yeah. So kudos to Matt and his crew going to task out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And, the Catskill Mountains Club has stepped it up, once again, people like Al, just an FYI, Al leads hikes for the Catskill Mountains Club, and he does them continuously. And it's insane of how many hikes he led. But if you ever want to do the All Trails Challenge, follow Al on Facebook, follow Catskill Mountain Club online, and Catskill All Trail Counts, Catskill Trail Conditions on Facebook and such. Al is always leading hikes out into the crazy places that, if you want to have a 2-person hike or maybe even more than that, he could bring you out there and guide you to the best for free. Al doesn't charge anything. Do you charge beers, by the way? No, maybe?
Burger would be good.
Burgers. Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Even better. So, this next question is my question. I'm a viewpoint guy. I love viewpoints. Is there a favorite viewpoint that you have while doing the All Trails Challenge or any part in the Catskills that just keeps bringing you back? Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many. The one I did Sunday, Huckleberry Point, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a spot. Try to think, there's Sunset Rock up by North South Lake. That's another one.
Yeah.
One I just thought of is, you know where the John Robb lean-to is?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a great view spot.
Yeah, I definitely want to camp out there.
Especially at sunset.
Yep. My wife and I camped out there one time and we got the most beautiful sunset and sunrise. So we got very lucky. And I gotta admit, that place is something else.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's one of the nicest views, I think, in the Catskills right there.
Worst views in the Catskills. Don't ever go there.
No.
Leave it alone. No, I'm just kidding. Awesome. That's me though. I'm loving the view. Like we recently, like we saw you on Sunday. We went to Catskill High Peak. That is one of those views that is just unforgettable.
Oh, Hurricane Ledge, yeah.
Yeah. But there's so many out there that you're just like, God damn, this is tough. Even the small, tiny viewpoints that you get on, some of those places, like, over in, we'll talk about the Western Catskills. Oh my God, what is that? The viewpoint with the pond. You got to be kidding me. I wasn't there too. Right off the Captain. Starts with an S. Shavertown.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, believe it or not, I've never done that trail.
Isn't that part of the challenge?
No, the Shavertown it is.
Okay, you got to go there. Well, that's pretty far drive for you, so
that's not that fun.
It's a nice spot. So that's a really good easy hike. So, all right, Tad, back to you, buddy.
Oh, all right. So for those of our listeners who don't get out to the Western Cats, what would you recommend to them as one of the best trails to hike out there for them to whet their appetite with?
I would say the Trout Pond area is good. A lot of people start on the Touch Me Not Trail. They'll start up from Barker Boone Road and do the Touch Me Not Trail.
Yeah, I just like
those
that name.
Those are two good ones.
Just that name, Barker Boone, gets me. But
yeah,
you don't put the Kelly Hollow Loop on that list?
Well, I really wouldn't consider that part of the Western Catskills.
No,
it's a nice little spot, though.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent spot. And then once again, the Western Catskills offers just the secluded forest.
Yeah,
is what it has to offer.
Another spot too is Split Rock.
Oh yeah. I was there this fall.
Yeah, a lot of people go there too.
Why am I drawing a blank?
Split Rock?
Yeah.
Oh, that's I would say it's just west of the Barker Boom area. It's
okay.
Yeah.
It's off of Holiday Brook Road. That's
all right.
You can access it. Mary Smith Trail.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay. The Mary Smith there.
So Al, I had on my list of questions, where are the worst nettles? But we know that you don't hike in nettle season.
I know, right?
Yeah, I really don't do summer hikes. So.
Yeah. What about bear sightings? Where would you send us if we want to run into a few bears in the Catskills? Where do you think the most populated area of bears is?
High Point Trail.
High Point?
Yep.
Wow.
High Point in the old long path going up from Palinville.
Well, yeah, good point. That's the what is it called? Oh my God, Tad, we just went near there. Poet's Ledge.
Yeah,
on your way there.
Yep, dude, we were talking about that. That's where I've seen the most bear. 2 bears up on Poet's Ledge.
Why do you think that is, Al? That there's a lot of bear activity over there?
I don't know. I mean, it's quiet, but usually it seems like bears go where the food is, and where there's people, there's usually more bears.
Yeah,
but it's just probably because it's quiet. Not many people use that section of that trail.
Yeah, I would think it's because they can get to a lot of dumpsters and garbage cans pretty easily and then get back to a place that people don't go because it's pretty rugged terrain in there as well.
That's way above the village.
Yeah. It's hardcore up there. And but Poach Ledge is one of those awesome viewpoints that not a lot of people visit unless they're doing, like you said, All Trails Challenge, Long Path, stuff like that.
What about waterfalls? You run into any hidden or secluded waterfalls in your treks around the Catskills? Do you want to share with us?
No, I mean, most of them are right on the trail. I came across one a few years ago, and it turned out to be it was on private property, like right off one of the trails. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to tell people to go visit that.
Speaking about going to visit that, where else other than the Catskills, Mohonk, Minnewaska do you do any hiking?
I used to do the Hudson Highlands a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day. I've been to the Adirondacks, but I haven't really done a lot up there.
How would you compare your Hudson Highlands hiking to what you come into or experience in the Catskills? Compare and contrast.
Well, the trails are usually shorter. Technically, I mean, hiking up Breakneck's like one of the most difficult trails I've ever done. I mean, that's a total rock scramble.
Yeah.
Nice.
And if you go on a weekend, it's also probably one of the most populated trails you've ever done.
Well, when I was hiking there, probably the late 90s, when I was going to school, on a weekend, you just go down there, you park on 9D, whatever, and go for a hike. It's like, now forget about it. I mean, it's worse than the Adirondacks.
Yeah.
The train stops there.
Yeah. There's a couple of train stops. I'm fortunate. My mother lives right at the foot of the Wilkinson Trail, and people aren't allowed to park there. So if I want to do Hudson Highlands, that's the way I go about it. But as far as the weekend, I wouldn't go there. Not now.
No. So we have a little, we keep on the All Trails Challenge. So we talk about the Western Catskills a lot. What about like towards the southern part of the Catskills now? We're talking about like I'm not familiar with this area, but like we go past beyond the Red Hill Fire Tower with all the waterfalls and stuff. Hold on, sorry, this is the Vornoy Kill and stuff like that. Like, what are your experience with that?
Vernoy Kill?
Yeah,
I like it. I usually do it as a loop. I'll park at the Upper Cherrytown Road, hike to the falls, bear right on the Long Path, Spencer Road. Then there's another paved road I take down to the newer Red Trail, and you come back out to the falls.
Yeah, and that part's part of the Long Path, right?
Yeah. Yep. It'll take you all the way out to Peak Moose Road.
Cool.
And that's another place too where you're out in the middle of nowhere. That Bengal Hill area.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's definitely secluded stuff. I mean, recently you had the forest fires and stuff like that out there. And once you go down in the crossover Bengal Hill and then you're going more south, then you'll get more secluded. But once you go down the Bengal Hill down to Sundown, you start getting into the Peekamoose Valley area where it's got the permits and stuff like that. So,
you ever get out to Spencer's Ledge?
No, never.
No,
I'm not familiar with that either.
Yeah, it's east of Sampson Mountain.
Oh,
it's off trail.
Oh,
yeah. I've never been out there.
Interesting. So, Ted, you want to go on to the hiking gears and tips?
Hiking gear. So let's get nerdy with Al. So why don't you've done 4 all trails, you've done your Catskill list, you hike around a lot. What's the advice that you can share with our listeners that you learned the hard way? Stuff that you would not want to learn the way you learned it before, but you now realize this is how you get it done.
Well, safety-wise, always tell somebody your plans. If it's a new place, allow a lot of time. I'm trying to think gear-wise, God, I've had a lot of the same stuff for years.
Same.
Yeah, I'm really not much of a gear guy,
mm-hmm.
mean, that red jacket you see me wearing the pictures, I've had that for over 20 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Is it like a shell?
It's a tri-climate jacket.
Okay.
North Face. I had it for over 20 years. It's held up.
Wow. Did it come with a lifetime? Did it come with a lifetime warranty? You gotta send it back someday. Ask them to replace it.
Oh no, they'd be pretty surprised if I did that now.
Yeah, you should be their spokesperson.
That's right.
Well, so what other than your North Face jacket? What other favorite gear is part of your arsenal? Stuff that because I have this type of stuff where they don't make it anymore, and you're just like the day it doesn't work, it breaks, it rips, or whatever. You're almost going to cry because it's just part of your hiking kit for quite a while.
No, I can't think of anything right offhand. I mean, I like with shoes, I go with Solomon. I've had 3 pairs of those. I've had 3 different pairs of snowshoes.
3, like totally different pairs. Like what? What was your favorite?
Believe it or not, I had a pair of Tubbs mountaineering, and they were great floaters. Like if you're open area, with a lot of snow, they were great. The only problem is that they didn't hold up. The heel strap, the binding broke. Actually, it broke right in the middle of one of my hikes. The MSRs, I got a new pair of those. They're great for traction. I mean, that I could say. They're probably more suited for the high peaks.
Correct. Yeah, it's different terrain, different devices and stuff like that. It's definitely a mix and match kind of deal and such.
Yeah. What about hiking poles, trekking poles? What do you use?
Black Diamond. I really like those a lot. They kind of lock into place. There's no twist in or anything. Mm-hmm. Just flip a little switch and they totally lock in place.
Yeah. So are you using metal poles, carbon poles, or something else?
I'm not sure. I think they are carbon though. Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty lightweight.
I know one of the 3 of us needs a new set of trekking poles, and I don't know if they picked out their poles yet, but you have any recommendations, Al? Do you prefer carbon over metal, or does it not matter to you?
It don't matter to me. It's just, like I say, I like something that'll lock in place. I don't like twisting or having to adjust. Yes, I've seen them collapse on people.
Yeah.
My first pair were those ones that would twist. You kept turning it until it wouldn't turn anymore. And I think they lasted about 30 miles, a couple hikes, total trashed. So yeah, I've got a couple pair of Black Diamonds, and I've been using these ones that I found in the middle of nowhere on a bushwhack. Turned out to be pretty good. So you told us you like your Solomon shoes. What about, you don't do hiking in summer, but one of the things I like to ask people that do hike a lot is, what do you use for bug spray?
I don't.
Nothing? Because you're not out in the summer.
You don't need it?
No. Even when I am, like if I'm out in May or June, I don't use anything. Well, I'll wear a pair of safety glasses so they don't go in my eyes. And I'll wear a ball cap.
Is that because of the beard? Is there something about the beard? You don't wash your beard, it keeps them away. What do you think the secret is? The bugs don't bother you?
Well, they're in my face. I mean, but I try not to pay any attention to them.
Even when they're flying away with a piece of your flesh, that doesn't bother you?
Well, no, that hasn't happened yet.
No, well, that's wild. What about tracking? What do you use? Anything for GPS tracking? Your phone? What app you use?
Nothing. No, just follow the map and I know the trails.
You don't track yourself and then note down what you did previously? Or this is all by hand, you highlight something?
No, I never use tracking or anything. Just
impressive. That is a first.
Yeah. Is there a reason why you don't, Al?
I just never have. I know the blue trails go north to south, red ones are east to west. So I kind of have a basic idea of my direction. Mm-hmm. Go by landmarks.
Yeah. You have a compass with you?
I tried to learn it. I never picked it up. I never used it.
Wow.
I'll send you a link that I use to my map and compass that is so easy. It's just so easy. This guy is as a hunter, and just the way he uses it is just like it's dumbfounded. Like I'm just like, wow, is this easy when like other people teach it like beyond what it should be taught. And I'll have to send you a link on YouTube. It's so crazy how to use it, but interesting. Now, wow.
Yeah.
So what I got one question about gear. Your backpack. What do you like? How big is your backpack, and what do you use? Are you prepared for anything and everything?
Yeah. Like I got a 50 liter backpack. I carry in winter. That's the Offspring.
Nice. I like you.
Yeah.
You're like me, Al. You carry anything and everything to freaking prepare for something disastrous.
Yeah, well, if something happens in the cold, you got to figure a way to get yourself off the ground and, give yourself shelter from wind. Yeah, so I'll carry a tarp. I mean, I can fit, a sleeping bag in it. The mat. I carry that once in a while.
Yeah. And now with you leading all these hikes and stuff like that, I'm guessing you are kind of like an influencer as well. Like if somebody's doesn't have the proper equipment, you're teaching them how to use it and be like, oh, maybe you should get this and stuff like that with your gear, the experience within the last 20 years and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if a lot of people I hike with already have experience, but the ones that don't, I mean, I'll give them my opinion. I'll tell them what I use, and just like I said, I'll give them my opinion, then suggest that they go to REI or like maybe Kenco or something, and talk to people who are more experienced with the gear.
Yeah, good place to go is Camp Catskill. They have a lot of stuff too.
Yes, yeah.
In Tannersville, they have some good stuff. Now, so Tad, what is this question on? They didn't stop making, like.
Oh, well, that was about hiking in the summer with bugs.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Al's smarter than you and I. He doesn't go hiking in the woods, and he rides on a mountain bike going faster than the bugs can go, so he doesn't have to worry about bug spray.
Yeah, it's go or not.
Yeah.
Speaking of mountain bikes, and we're talking about mountains, what about mountain lions? I mean, everybody claims that they've seen a mountain lion with all your thousands of miles in the Catskills. And have you ever seen a mountain lion track?
That you're willing to admit to. I can understand if you don't want to tell us, Al, but will you admit to seeing mountain lion tracks in the Catskills?
No.
Yes. See? Yeah. Suck it.
Yeah. There you go, folks. There you go.
Isn't it so funny how people are like, oh yeah, I've seen them on my trail cams, or I've seen paw prints in my backyard, but not one of these people can produce a viable information or evidence that they exist.
Yeah.
And Al's hiked thousands of miles here on back country trails in the middle of absolute hell nowhere, and he's like, I don't see any. Yeah,
well, Stosh, if you saw a mountain lion print out in the Catskills, would you be telling everyone about it?
Hell yeah, I would.
Really? Oh,
yeah, that would be fantastic. I think they're back. It's either a wolf or a mountain lion that I love to see out here.
No one's going to believe you.
That's very true.
Yeah. So when you think about it, the minute you start, I saw a mountain lion, everybody's going to look at it like, well, Stosh, he's as crazy as Tad is now. He hung out with Tad too long. Went downhill when he started hiking with Tad, just like when you went down Round Top this weekend on your butt.
That was nice. That was nice. I enjoyed that. So Al, how was the hike over to Huckleberry?
How was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice. It was about 4 miles, but the view there is great. It's
just use spikes.
Yeah, there's no snow. I mean, there's like maybe a few inches. I think there's 5 of us. We're all good without snowshoes.
Nice. All those guys seem pretty cool. So I mean, we're not. You don't really hike in the summer, but you do hike in the later parts of the summer. Do you have any details of how you avoid Lyme's disease, like ticks and stuff like that? Do you use anything?
No. I mean, most of the ticks I have on me that I do get on me are like the upper part of your body. So I think most of the ticks are like falling from higher places, like higher weeds. So I mean, I just wouldn't bushwhack in the summer, or just stay on the main trail.
This guy is smart. He's smart most than all us East Coasters who love hiking out in the summer and the fall.
I mean, I do hike in the summer occasionally, but yeah, I just wouldn't like bushwhack and like thick weeds in the summer.
Yeah, we got it all wrong, Tad. We're done.
Well, yeah, I know. I cut back on my bushwhacking in the summer. I think bushwhacking season starts when fall is over and you're waiting really for the onset of winter, and bushwhacking season continues until things start to come to life again out in the woods, and then you got to reassess what you're doing and where you're going, and that's frankly when I've done most of my all trails mileage is during the summer, when I can just like douse myself in bug spray and net gear and whatnot, and go out there like I'm a beekeeper and walk those trails in the Western Catskills. When Al's not around, yeah, right. But I also enjoy putting in some mileage on my bike.
Yeah, that's right. That's a hell of a way to do it. So Al, any like tips to anybody who's pursuing their All Trails Challenge for the first, second, third, or fourth time?
Yeah, just like I say, study your maps, and if you have a friend that can go with you, that'll help. But yeah, I mean, if you plan on doing it multiple times, it gets easier as you do it. I mean, you'll find ways.
Yeah, I can tell you that I mean, I've done some of those spots out in the Western Catskills. Having two people is definitely the way to go. Or like what Tad said, having a bike and a car. You can have a 7-mile hike, like I said, to turn into a 14-mile hike because you got to do it there and back. Or you can have a 7-mile hike turn into a bike ride that is 5 miles. That's a beautiful, nice and coast bike ride down the Beaver Kill or something. So
yeah, I've done the bike thing before. It definitely works.
Yeah. So Al, here's my last question for those folks out there that are looking to do the All Trails Challenge, but don't have a buddy to do it with. Is there a group on Facebook or somewhere else that would, if they plugged into it, that would hook them up with other candidates that are out there doing the All Trails?
Well, we do it with the Catskill Mountain Club.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if somebody has, I'll help people doing it. If they have a request, a trail they need help with, I'll take them there.
Yeah. So they should link up with the Catskill Mountain Club and get involved in those hikes, meet you and others in that club, and that'll segue them into the All Trails Challenge.
Just look at our schedule. I have something almost every week until the summer.
One of the things that I find too often is somebody is a little intimidated signing up with the hiking group because they think that they're a slow hiker. Should they be worried about that?
No, I get that all the time. I mean, people ask me, what's your pace? I tell them I don't know. We just take it as it comes. I mean, as fast as the slowest person in the group.
Mm-hmm. Right. There's always something to look at. If somebody's like lagging behind, a couple paces, you always got something to check out or look at while you're waiting for them to catch up. So
yeah, just slow down. I mean, that's all. Yeah. It's not you want to enjoy your hike.
Exactly.
Yeah. My first goal is to leave the woods the same people I entered it with,
or more.
That's a little crazy, but yeah, or more.
Why not?
Why not? I mean, that's kind of a better aspect.
Yeah. Nobody gets left behind. Go out and do a group hike or two with Al and the Catskill Mountain Club.
Yeah.
Fun.
It's always a sweep. I'm not going to leave anybody behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, Al, kind of one question left. One last big question that we ask everybody. It's the same thing. Post-hike brews and bites. When you go out there and you're coming back, maybe it doesn't matter where you're at. What is your favorite place to stop and get something to eat or drink?
There's quite a few, actually. Oakleys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I haven't been there for a year or so, but I used to like going there. The Last Chance.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Tannersville.
And if you're on Route 209, Benny's Pizza.
Benny's Pizza. That's a new one.
Benny's. Yeah, Benny's. What about?
If you're out on Route 209, heading to like the southern Catskills or Verneuil, that's a good place to stop.
Nice.
There's Steve's Pizza.
What about Picnic Pizza? Is that on your list?
That's not far from my house. Yeah, if you like thin crust pizza, they used to be really good.
Nice.
But it's not on your list anymore? Is that what I'm hearing? You're not a Picnic Pizza guy anymore? Or are you?
Well, they're good, but I like Benny's better.
Benny's? Okay, I'm going to check Benny's out next time I'm coming through and I'm picking up a pie for the missus and I. We're going to Benny's on 209.
Yeah, buffalo chicken pizza.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Oh, that's good stuff. What about Schneider's?
No, I've never been there.
Okay.
Never been to Snyder's? How'd you get on the show? How'd he get on the show? He's never been to Snyder's. What is this?
A lot of people have.
Jesus, we'll let anybody on the show. Next guy that's on the show is probably going to be like a golfer. He's never been hiking before. Never been to Snyder's. I can't. It doesn't make any sense.
It does. People gotta experience it sometimes.
That's okay. Talk about bushwhacking. That's a bushwhack getting into Snyder's. Let me tell you.
Yeah, there's not even parking in there. So
I thought it was an abandoned building when I first seen it, but
yeah,
same.
That's why you always have the place to yourself when you get there. Just you and the bartender.
That and the 8 locals that are there enjoying their 7th beer
and the venison platter.
Yes. All right, Al. So thank you for joining us on the show. I really appreciate it. Hope you had a good time, and once again, thank you for influencing people to go out there and enjoy the different trails other than, the 3,500 peaks, the viewpoints and such like that. You're a big influencer on getting people out to the other parts of the Catskills that we need more visitation and more usage on, just to show them that they're actually being used and to be the maintenance. Really appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to the monthly supporters and sponsors. Really appreciate you guys. And thank you to everyone who has donated to the show. Thank you to everyone who is still listening. 158 episodes with Al here tonight, representing the Catskill Mountain Club and the Catskill All Trails Challenge as the superior person in this, just kicking ass and bringing your experiences here is absolutely phenomenal. So thanks for joining us, Al.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, have a good night, Al, and hopefully we'll see you back out on the trail again.
Yeah, sounds good, Stosh. Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
Hey everyone, I just want to thank you for listening to the show. If you enjoyed the show, subscribe and throw down a smooth review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any podcast platform that you use. You can also check daily updates of the podcast, hikes, hiking news, and local news on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the official website of the show. Remember this, you gotta just keep on living in the Catskills, man. Livin.
Wicked.